Peiches. Hayoim Yoim Peiches. Pach Shemen. Today we're going to start from the Gemara. Peizayin with Beis. Basically, we're going to repeat the Mishnah. But the Gemara says there's a big difference in how you read the Mishnah. Do you read the Mishnah from the smallest measuring cup up, or do you start from the largest measuring cup and go down? And the Gemara is going to explain the difference. Ton Rabbanon. There were 7 measuring devices for liquids in the Beis Hamikdash. Starting from the smallest one, Revi'is lug. That's the famous Revi'is that we're familiar with. It's a quarter of a lug, the chatzi lug, and a half a lug, the loig, and a 1 full lug. Revi'is ahin. A hin, we said, is 12 lug. The Revi'is ahin, a quarter of that. Ushlishis ahin, the chatzi ahin, v'hin. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda says we start from the smallest measurement and we work our way up. Remei Omer, it starts hin. So in the Mishnah, it started from hin, v'chatzi hin, like Remei. Remei Omer hin, v'chatzi hin, ushlishis ahin, revi'is ahin. And then it goes into the measurements of the lug. The lug, v'chatzi lug, revi'is lug. Fine. No big chidushim. The Gemara is going to explain. Everything is going to explain. So this again we had in the Shimon says we don't need a hin. There was no measurement needed for the hin. It was only one time by Chanukas Hamishkon. Esmi ovi tachtov. So what do I bring instead of the hin? There was another measuring device that was a lug and a half. That was the right measurement for the mincha of the Kohen Gadol. It was the exact measurement of which was needed for the every morning and afternoon. Why do you need a special measuring device? Let him use the half a lug 3 times. Why do you need a half a lug and a full lug? If you don't mind measuring a lot, so use the revi'is, the little becher that we have, and just from there keep on filling up. If you have to do it 20 times. Obviously, we need larger devices to measure larger measurements. Elo zeh haklal hoy b'mikdash. There was a rule. Kli shemishamish mida zu ein mishamish mida acheres. So if there was a particular measurement, we had a kli for that measurement. Now you could use that kli for different things that have the same measurement. But every measurement, if there was 3 different menachos that had a lug, so we used one kli called a lug for those 3 menachos. If there's another mincha that had a lug and a half, so we had another new kli called a lug and a half kli. So every measurement had its own kli. Again, something that we saw in the Mishnah, that there was one device called a hin, and in that measuring cup, there were lines in it. Rabbi Schoenberg pointed out, the lines were inside the kli, not on the outside, because it wasn't see-through, it wasn't glass. So you looked inside and you saw, okay, up to this line is a revi'is, up to this line is a chatzi lug, and it just kept on going up, like the picture in Rashi. Now, the picture of Rashi is very difficult, because between the revi'is halug and the chatzi lug, it's like it's almost a nothing. If you're talking about a giant jug the size of a gallon, and the revi'is is on the bottom, there's one line, and right above that there's another line, and how are you going to measure with your eye? Now, according to Tosfos, it works out beautifully. Tosfos says that it's not one kli called a hin that had 4 lines. Rather, there was one kli called hin, and that was only for hins. So there was a revi'is, shlishis a hin, chatzi a hin, and a hin. There was four measurements in that hin. Let's say 3 lines and the full hin. You have a full hin, a gallon, whatever it is, almost a gallon, and then you have on the bottom you have a revi'is a hin, then you have a shlishis a hin, you have chatzi and a chatzi hin. You have 3 lines. In addition to that one kli, says Tosfos, you had 3 other kalim for a lug. You have the revi'is kli, something this size, and then you had the chatzi lug and a lug. So total of 4 kalim. You had 3 lug kalim and 1 hin kli that had thing. You give me a look as if I didn't read it well. Okay.
It was 1 for hin measurements, 1 for lug measurements.
Yeah.
Not 3 for lug.
No. That's not how they're learning it.
One that had the hin.
It says mefurish somewhere. I don't know where I saw it. Sheva Medidos. Look at Tais Sheva Medidos on Peiches Amud Aleph. Arba Midos Shalach Hoyu. Tais says. Arba Midos Shalach. There's 4 kalim of lach, and 1 was a hin and 3 were for the lug. That's how I understood it. How do you understand Arba Midos Shalach?
I don't know. Why did you put it on space? It isn't for the 1 meter shall.
Why does it actually have 6 lines? It should only have 3 lines.
No. It's Machlokes Rashi and Taisus. That's exactly what I'm saying. Rashi held it's 1 kli called hin, and Taisus is mechulek, and he says there's at least an additional kli. According to him, there's 2. How many kalim according to you? According to me, there's 4.
Actually, there should be 1 very low line at the bottom.
Right.
Of these,
Right.
and then quarter log, half a log, and 3/4 log. So there should only be 4 lines inside.
Why? What about hins? What about the
The
hin?
full hin, you don't need a line.
Yeah, but there's right. That you don't need a line, but you need a revius a hin. Chatzi hin. Shlish hin.
So there should be 3 lines.
But also you have lug. Lug and hin all in 1 kli. The 6 lines according to Rashi.
So there's only 1 revius needed to measure.
1 revius lug, chatzi lug, full lug, and then you have the hin, the 4 measurements of hin. It's interesting if you look at this picture of you look at this picture in Rashi. It seems like there was a measurement for hin also, even though the kli was a hin. It was above the hin. I don't know how that works with what we're going to learn now. There's only 6 lines here. What's missing? Hin, chatzin, revehin, loig, chatzin, revehin. I think we're missing a shlishis. Yeah, shlishis and hin is missing from my picture at least. I don't know if you have 7 lines. Okay, so I'm just missing. It was a mistake of my guy. Okay, you have. Says the Gemara. We need a picture of that, Rabbi Isai. Oh, Choshev guest Navi.
What time he woke up?
He didn't go to sleep yet. He didn't wake up. Okay, so now the Gemara is asking the question that everybody had. My iko bein Rabbi Meir to Rabbi Yehuda. What is the difference? Yeah.
Arshville brings those 2 sheets.
There's 2. Really?
One that says it was over 2 and one that says it was 1 + 3.
Wow. Okay. Al Capone, I was in Nichshel B'Amaratzos. Okay. Thanks. Says the Gemara. Who cares how you read it? You could start from the largest measurement and work your way down. You start from the lowest measurement and work your way up. But the measurements are identical, so what's the difference how you write it? Says the Gemara, there's a big difference. Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Beirutze Midois Ike Benai. Beirutze Midois, meaning similar to what we learned yesterday. Like we had yesterday the Lashon called Gadush. Beirutze Midois is the art scroll translated the over brim, I think. What goes over the top of the rim. The heap. Okay, heap would be like for salads, and overbrim would be for beritzi midos. We're talking about liquids now. Now, seems like in Rashi, depends which Rashi you read, but I think they're both saying the same thing. That very simple. If you go from a very large kli that has an overbrim into a small kli, it's going to fall on the floor. The extra, the top, you can't get a big pail that's over and trying to get into a cup, it's going to spill all over the place. Right? That makes sense. If you go, both of them, the top and the bottom, both say, but the one on top says it a little bit better. He says it maher, you have to do it quickly. And the one on the bottom, you could read a little differently. Akoponim, The point is that if you have an overbrim on a small little cup and you try to pour it into a large pail, you can get it all inside in one shot. It's not a problem to go spill it quickly and get it all into the pail. So then the pshat would be like this. If you start from the bottom, from the smallest shear, you're starting from the cup. So then that includes the overbrim as well, and the overbrim is Kaddish. Because Akash Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, start from over here, and let's work at your way up. So Mamela, everything is included. But if you're starting from the largest Kli, you cannot get the overbrim into the smaller Kli. Therefore, the overbrim is not included in the shear. And if you start from the smaller Kli, then your Kli is actually bigger. Because once you're adding all these overbrims, let's say you start from a revius, but to get to a half a revius, you need two cups. Each cup has an overbrim. So now you're dealing with two overbrims. So your half a revius is actually more than a half a revius. It's two overbrims more than a half a revius. Versus if you go the other way, if you start from the top, then it's exactly a revius with no overbrim. So it's a different shear, a slightly different shear in the cup.
We had a few days ago, that the whole overbrim on the solids, the actual measurement is smaller itself.
Right. That was yesterday, right? That was yesterday with my coffee cup, one bigger one. Right. But in liquids it's different because also that we're saying how he designed the cup the first time.
It looks like this. When you have the coffee and it starts dripping down.
Yeah.
You catch it fast before it gets all the way to the bottom and you pour it in and it goes down.
But you need a larger kli.
Like making kiddush and stuff.
Let's see inside. The man Omer memata lamalo kasova berutzi amidis niskachu revius yov lerechman alameisha. Listen to this, Mr. Kornblum. It says over here. I'm just following up on what you're saying. The Akash Baruch Hu gave Moshe Rabbeinu a revius and said, "Figure it out yourself from that point." Now, he had to make a kli that contained the revius with the overbrim. You understand? It's different than what we said yesterday with the solids. That you have a kli that's a smaller kli that has an overbrim. Fine. Overbrim, I'm asking to you that overbrim is a smaller kli. But if you're creating, you're a kli smith. I don't know what it's called. You make kalim, and you start from all Akash Baruch Hu gave you is this little kli, and said go figure out a hin from this. So the way you figure out a hin is with the overbrim. So then your kli that you end up with is a larger kli, because you're filling up these reviuses into another kli. And you're measuring it with the overbrim, and you have to add a little bit. Understand? Like, if you take my half a coffee cup that I had yesterday, and you do a heap, and then you take that and you pour it into another clean, say, okay, now that is your chatz revius. So then you would have to raise the cup, and then you have to do 2 times to get the chatzi. So it's 2 brims, and then that would have to be, then you get to the next year. The full lug is 4 of those. 4 overbrims, so it's a larger kli.
If it's more than one time that you have to repeat it, then
No. But Moshe Rabbeinu did it one time, and that's it. Finished. That was the kli. We knew what the kli was. But when he created the kli, he based it off of that.
I'm saying the reason it has to be, it can't be that you have to use the key more than one time. In other words, if you would have to use it 3 times, then you have to have a separate key. In other words, if you can take one key, do once, twice, that's fine. But if you have to do 3 times to get the thing, that's no good. Because then you'd have too much, isn't that what you're saying?
No, because he created a kli called a chatzi, a half a log. How did he create the kli called a chatzi log? With 2 revius logs.
Okay.
But once he had the chatzi log, now I'm only going to use the half a log.
Yeah.
It was a one-time creation.
Yeah.
He's not using it 3.
But I'm saying if we wouldn't
And he
have
did
the
use
log-
it 3 times. To get to a full log, he had to use it 4 times. And to get to hin, he had to use it 12 times.
No, so
12 times the log.
Okay.
Fine. If you work your way up from the largest kli, from the hin, which is 12 log, downwards, then it does not include the beruti midos, it does not include the overbrim because it's impossible without spilling. So that Akash Baruch Hu didn't mean the overbrim. So Akash Baruch Hu gave him the hin. He said, start with the hin. Here's the largest kli. Break it down until you get to revius a lug. But it did not include the berutzim. That's not the point. Whether it became kaddish or not. Right? Everybody knows the pasuk. Right? It has to be mole. What does mole mean? Soiles mole. It has to be full. So the question is does the word full mean a minimum, like up to here, or but it could be more, or it means exactly to that level, not more, not less. It has to be exactly. You could go even higher. So it depends how you read it, how you learn it. It's interesting. It seems like from Rashi, especially in the Rabbinic Gershom, he says the word ketzef. I think the word ufya might be that also as well. Rashi's learning, it's a practical thing. That when you pour from a small kli into a bigger kli, so now from a milamala lamato, you could go from a big kli to a small kli, it would be exact. But if you go from a small kli to a big kli, you do it fast. From a big kli to a small kli, you have to go really slow, so you don't spill. So if you go really slow, you don't have foam. But if you go from a small kli to a big kli, you go fast, and it foams up. And that extra, you have to count for that extra foam. That's one pshat in Rashi here. Tosfos says that it's not a practical thing. It's a siman. It's like the idea behind it. Not literally it's going to foam up, but when the Torah says you go from small to big, that means you could add. You could go more. The Torah is telling you. But when you go from big to small, the Torah is showing you keep to within your limits. Don't go larger. Go exact. That's how Tosfos learns. If you want to see it, it's Tosfos Dibur Maskul Manda Omar Voidish Lefarish. Umanda Omar Milamata Lamala have a simon. It's a simon. It's just the idea behind what's going on, but not practical like Rashi is saying. Like literally, it's going to blow up. It's going to be more of a shear if you go from small to big. Says the Gemara Omar Mar. Rabbi Shimon Omer lo sham hin. Shabbat Kamalu Rabbi Shimon Rabbanan. Why in the world do I need a measurement hin? It was a one-time deal by Chanukah Mizbeach, by Chanukah Mishkan. So what do I need? What? So what do I need in the Beis Hamikdash? Why do I need to carry it around with me? Why do I need to worry about it? Why do I need it on the shelf? Okay. V'Rabbanon havehin dovad Moshe l'shemen hamishcha. D'chsiv v'shemen zayisin. Mar savar kivin l'doris lehavet sarich lefi shohud avdei vignas. This is like Reb Chaim Kanevsky's favorite word. Ignas. They got rid of it. There's no need for it. If there's no need for it, you got rid of it. V'idach kivin the hava. And this is what Mendy was saying. No, it was a one-time thing. There's no reason to get rid of it. It was a nice golden kli. Keep it. Omar Reb Shimon Omer. What did Reb Shimon say? Lo yishom hin. Sorry. V'esmi ovi tachtov. So Reb Shimon said, okay, since they got rid of it, Ignaz, so I need to bring something instead of it. Says the Gemara, and why did what was pushing him to get another measuring cup? So you have 6, not 7. What's the big deal? It says in the Torah twice that you have to do smicha. By parallel davar, by the Sorel Azazel. That's by a communal korban only twice. Maybe we should do it in other korbanos? No. We have a halacha Moshe Sinai, only these 2. It limits to those 2. So 2, says the Gemara, it's interesting, like the Gemara chapped on this as an example of all halacha Moshe Sinai. Maybe because it's like a number. 2 and no more. So over here it's 7 and no less. We have halacha Moshe Sinai, Yochanami Gimiri the Sheva Midah Shalacha B'Migdash. End of the story. If the 7 and one of them was buried, we have to come up with another one. So we come up with another one, which is 1.5 lug for the chavita.
Not less, also not more. 7.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the halacha Moshe Sinai over there was not more, not less. I know it's not less because the Torah tells me to. So what I use the same idea. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Tzadok, Mishnasas Hayu Bahin, V'leslei Sheva Midos. So according to Rabbi Elazar, that there's only one kli, the size of a hin, one measuring cup, and it had 7 lines in it or 6 lines. Leslie, he doesn't hold that there was 7 cups. Says the Gemara, Leslie, he doesn't hold it. Yes, he holds that Halacha Mashina said that there's 7 measurements. It doesn't mean there's 7 measuring cups. There's 7 lines. Says the Mishnah. What do they do with that famous revius? Says the Gemara, says the Mishnah, revius maim lemitzayra. The mitzayra, like it says in the pasuk, that v'shachat tzipar ha'achas al klicheres, what you shech the one of the birds, and the blood goes into the water, and then you take the water and the maim chayim. It says al maim chayim. You should shecht it, and the blood should go on water that came from a spring. So how much water do I need? I need a revius. Revius shemen lenazir, and it also measured the oil for the bread of the nazir. Chatzi lug mayim mishamish. What do you do with a half a lug? Chatzi lug mayim lesoita. I take the Torah, the parsha of the soita, and I have to put it in water. How much water? Half a lug of water. So for that I need a measuring device. V'chatzi lug shemen letoida, and the half a lug of shemen for the 3 breads that we have, right? The rikikin, the matzah, the chalis, and the revucha. For every saroin that you bring for a mincha, I need 1 lug shemen. So that had a lot of use. Afilu mincha shel shishim isar noisin lo shishim loy. Like we had yesterday. If you're going to bring a mincha of 60 isarim, you have to measure 60 times with the isarim measuring cup. So too, you would have to measure 60 times the shemen with the measuring cup. They didn't have a larger.
You use the same log to measure the oil and to measure the water.
Yeah, that was before, yes.
I mean, someone has to wash it in between.
Yeah. That was the wash. The water was the wash. You'll see, we're going to talk about washing soon. Serious washing in the menorah. There was the washing. They had that sponges. They had things to wash.
When you measure the lug of shemen, you have to clean it up because there's still going to be oil stuck inside.
You mean the oil, the water? When you measure the water, you have to get.
No, oil one after the other. You'll have extra oil.
So we had that once. We once discussed it. I don't remember where. There was leftover. We had something about the leftovers sticking around. Says the Mishnah. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov oimer afilu mincha sheshishim yisaron ein lo ela lugo shenemar lemincha veloig shaman. There's a pasuk, 1 loig shaman for the mincha. Shisha lapar, says the Mishnah, you take 6 lug shaman for a cow. How much is 6 lug? A half a hin, because a hin is 12 lug. Va'arba la'ayil. How much is arba? That would be a shlishis a hin. It would be a third of a hin. 4 lug, u'shloish lakeves, and 3 lug would be a revi'asein. Shloish u'mechza le'menorah, and then you take 3.5 lug for the menorah. Why? Chatzi lug l'kol ner. If you have 7 candles, 7 wicks, so you need 3.5 lug for the menorah. Half a lug for each candle. You also have Rebbe v'kokashilei. Rebbe had a kasha. Revi'as lama nimshecha. So if we go back to the Mishnah, what does the Mishnah say? Why do I need a revi'as? 2 reasons. Mitzayra and a nazir. Says Rebbe, but why in the world do I need to be Mekadesh? Why do I need to put in a klisharis? Mitzayra chutzu. It's not in the Beis HaMikdash, it happens outside. Nazir, lechem nazir b'shchitas ayelu de kadesh. You have to wait anyways until you shecht the ram, and then it all becomes kadesh anyways, the bread. Right? We had the whole sugya when the bread becomes lechem kadesh through the shchita. So what I need, the kli. Omalei Reb Chia, you're right. You don't need it for those 2. Sheba hayamoided lechavite kohen gadol. Since there was 12 breads and there was 3 lug of shemen divided to 12 breads, you needed a revi'is shemen lekol chala v'chala. It came out to 1 revi'is per each bread. Kari alei meretz merchok. He came from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. Ish atzasi. He's the man that gives me good advice. Tremendous compliment. Chatzi lug me'hoyo meshamish. So what does it say in the Mishnah? The Chatzi lug was for the soita and for the toida. Yosef Rebbe v'kokashile. Same question. Chatzilug loma nimshach. What do I need it? Isoita v'chichulenu detzrich lekadushay. You think the water is regular water from the sink? Mayim g'doshim ksiv. It comes from the kiyar. Itoida lachem itoida v'shchitas toida u'dekikachi. It becomes kadosh through the shchita. So I don't need a kli. Amalei Reb Shimon b'Rebbe. Somebody else told him. Sheboy hoya mechalik chatzilug shemen. Oh, that's right, his own son. Shkoyach. Reb Shimon b'Rebbe. Sheboy hoya mechalik chatzilug shemen lekol ner v'ner. This is how they got the chatzilug shemen for each candle. Omar loy ner Yisrael kachoya. So Tosfos points out the obvious. I don't know if it's so obvious, but Tosfos says that he called his son this. He gave him this compliment twice, and both of them had to do with lights. And now our sugya was about the menorah, so he called him Ner Yisrael, and also in the sugya of Kiddush HaChodesh, which was light. Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Omar Rebbe, Ner Shekovsa. Now halacha, if you have a menorah and the light goes out, approaching Chanukah, not so negiah to us. Ner Shekovsa, Nidashin Hashem and Nidashin Apsila. I think the way you understand it is that once it goes out, you have to view the oil and the wick as if they're not there, as if they're ashes. So what do? You have to clean it out, and then you start over. You put in oil and you light it. Yosef Rebbe Zreiko how much oil do you put in? Let's say you filled it up with a half a lug, and it burnt a half a lug, and then it went out in the middle of the night. So half of the half a lug. So now you have a revius lug left over. So what do? How much do you fill it up? Do you put in a full half a lug, or you just put it whatever was missing? A revius lug, let's say. Or like which is missing. So how do you read this? Just simple taich. Chasra means if you just read it as is, it doesn't make any sense. Do you put in as much as that was burnt? Shechasra means whatever's burnt, right? So you have to obviously what? Oh, but if you really be medayik if you want to touch it up exactly, so a big kimosh chasra would mean like what you're throwing out into the garbage now. In other words, whatever's left over, you have a revis lug left over, and you mechaser, you take that out and you put it away, you throw it into the garbage. That's what you have to refill it. Okay, fine. It's just technical how you read it. It should say kimosh nishar, not kimosh chaser. That should be the.
What's the refill for? The refill for is for a different night? Or
No. Because the oil that's left over, we say, is garbage. It becomes like ashes. Just like the wick is garbage, you have to throw out the wick. You can't use this wick. You say, oh, it's still good. It looks pretty. Like the second night of Hanukkah, we use our wicks again. Can't do that. Take it, throw it in the garbage. Because once it's burned, it's burned. So all the leftover oil is also garbage. Get rid of it. Put it in the base addition somewhere. And you have to put more oil in. But how much oil do you put in? Do you go all the way to the top of the cup? Or whatever?
No, I get that.
What's the shaila?
Are you burning again for the same night?
Yeah, the same night. Rashi says that it's at night. You notice that at night there's a night, day, when it happened. But Rashi says it at night. So the kohen comes. He says there was a big wind. There was something. It was gone. So he runs, cleans it out real quickly, gets rid of all the oil, puts the exact oil that was left in there, whatever's left until the next day. That's what he puts in there. Oh, so the Gemara is going to say. That's exactly why the Gemara is bringing this Gemara, this thing. Omar Rabbi Yirmiyah, Shita the Kemida Rishoyna. Obviously, you have to start from the beginning. You have to put a chatzilug. Because if it's whatever's left over, how is he going to figure it out what is left over? So you'll say, okay, he poured it out into a kli, and he put a marker. Then he said, okay, this is how much it is. Why are you telling me there's only 7? Then every single time that a candle burns out, you have to make a new mark, and a new mark means a new, especially according to the shita that there's only one kli and it had marks in it. So now you made a new mark. A new mark is the 8th kli. The next day is the 9th kli. So you have hundreds of kalim, and there's only allowed to be 7 kalim. So obviously we never measured it. You can't measure it. You put in a chatzi lug and that's it. The following day, when there's too much oil, you put it out, and you take it out, you throw it away.
Interesting, the Gemara changed the notion from chasra to mishaya. We're talking about the same thing.
No, the mishayar means measure. We're talking about measuring. In the mishayar, you take what? How do you know how much is left over? Okay, this is the kli. This is how much oil is left over. Start out from here. When here? How do you know? You have to pour it out. You have to pour it out. How do you know how much is left over? So you have to make a mark. You can't just look at it and say, okay, this looks like a half. You have to make a mark. That mark is awesome. Because there's halacha mishmesina, you can't do more than 7 marks. Says the Gemara, Kori alei, v'adorcha tzlach, your splendor gives you that tzlacha, rochav al dvar emes, you're riding on the truth because you v'anvo tzedek. Because anova and emes, that's how you got to this great shot. Itmar nami, omer bavo, omer b'yochanon, v'amri lo, omer b'abo. So now we have a brayse that says mamish. We had a question. It says the answer in the words. Omer b'chanin, omer Rebbe, ner shekofsa nidashin Hashem and nidashin apsilo. A candle that went out, you have to view it as if it's all ashes. Ketzad oisa, what do you do? Mitiva v'noisa v'shemen kemida rishoina. It says mefurish in the brayse. As much oil as when you started out, a half a lug umadlika. Omer Rabbeinu Bereder Rav Yehuda Omer Rav Sheshes. Ner sheba migdash prakam. Very interesting. Yeah, every day I make a shake, a fruit shake with a blender, and I found out very quickly if I want to clean out that container, it's very difficult to clean it out in the sink, right? You're cleaning out the dirt in the dirt. You have to be able to flip it over. And I spray water like this, geshmak, it comes out clean in a second. The same thing with the menorah. How are you going to clean out all this oil? It's upright. You're looking at me like, yeah.
No, because you just put it on the sink and you come back the next morning and it's clean. I don't think
Yeah. For that, you have to do hold on. That's this guy right over there. By the way, the other day there was a thumbs down. Now you know why. There's some people. That woman in Brazil. Okay, I'll go on him.
What happened to all the stuff that came out from you cleaned it up?
You have to put it in Trumas Hadeshin, and you put it in the yeah, and that's Trumas Hadeshin probably. The pile, that's the pile of garbage that's not so garbage. So how do you clean it? Says the Gemara unbelievable, Shaprakam Hava. It almost seemed like it had joints. The gold was so beautiful, so pure that you're able to bend it downwards. And the gravity would help you out clean it. You'd flip it over. Yeah. The candle part, you go like this, you bend it down. Don't try it at home. Yeah, you bend it over, clean it out upside down, everything drops. And then you put it back to where it belongs. Kosovar, kiksiv, kikaru, miksha, amenoira vener seksiv. So the word kikar is going only on the menorah and the candles. Kivin the maboya hatava, since you need to clean it out, you'll have the program hava. If it wasn't flexible, it wouldn't clean out. Meisvei. It says in the brayso, misalkan menuchim boil. You disassemble it. You take the top part off the candles. You put it in the oil. So it says mefurish. It comes apart. You take a sponge and you clean it down. And then you fill it up with the oil. You put it back together again. Says the Gemara, Rav Sheshes, who says that it's flexible. He holds the Sanya Chacham Oimrim lo yoyim mezizin oisamim koima. The candle would never move from its spot. Miklal. So the Gemara asks a question. They wouldn't move it from its spot, meaning Miklal the boyle lo yizuzim mazizlei. It seems like you could move it, they just didn't. Elohim Elohoisa zazim koima. It never moved from its spot. So Rav Sheshes holds it never moved from its spot because it couldn't move from its spot. The only thing you could do is flex it downwards. Uman chachomim Rebbe Lozer the Sanyu Rebbe Lezer Rebbe Tzadok Omer Kimintash Shel Zov Hoylo Al Gabo. Shumativa here. I have a picture. I stole this from the Mesifta. It's not quite this size and these colors is shinui. The kind of a shinui because this is gold. So how to do it yellow. So basically, there's this is also gold. This round thing is a tashel zahav. Rashi points out it has a little cutout in the middle, and they would pour the oil through it. Now, when they wanted to clean out the menorah, they would push it in the direction of the arrow towards the ner, because you see, it looks like a little boat over here. Here's the flame, the wick. They would push it towards there, and then this part would be open. They would flip it downwards, and all the oil would pour out. And then they would push it back to this. This is the normal position. Fill it out from the hole. So when they cleaned it out, says the Gemara, they would push it in the direction of the blue arrows. That way. Okay? It says in the pasuk, Kikor, Kikor Zov Torah Yase Oisa. The menorah came from one kikor, from one, like a 1,500 ounce piece of gold. So the question is, does that include, what does it include? Does it include the candles on top? And does it include, like by the fireplace, the fancy homes, they have the fireplace, and they have those, like a shovel and a brush. The menorah also had a couple of tools called a Melkal Chayim and a Machtois. One was a tongue to take the wick out, and one was like a scooper, like a, what?
You don't have one of those?
In my house in Chicago? Yeah, we have one. I found it in a shvach house, and I put it in my house. It's gold, but it doesn't come from this kikar. The 1,500 ounces or the 1,800 ounces of gold, which, by the way, in today's price is about $2 million of gold, does not include the kalim. It's, $1,200 per ounce times 1,500, 1,800 is like $2 million. Fine. So the Malkul Chaim is not part of it. Rabbi Nechemia Omer. Now pay attention. This is Rabbi Nechemia over here. Rabbi Nechemia Omer menorah hisabah min hakikar. The menorah came from the kikar. Veloy neir yisel. He says mefurish, and not the part that you light the wicks from. Umalkochel machdisel, and of course not the tools. Boys min hakikar, and they don't come from the kikar. V'may what's the machlokes? B'hay kru adesanya kikar zov tor yaso iso. How do I know that includes the neiros? Now all of a sudden, the Brisa says it does include the neiros. A second ago we said, Reb Nechemi says it doesn't include the neiros. The Gemara is going to address this. You see in red, comes to include the neiros. Who says this? Maybe it should also include the tools. In blue, so this is a big problem. Kasha, before we go anywhere, he started off saying that it does include the neiros. Now it doesn't include the neiros. What is it? Fine. Okay, we have to, obviously, it's too strong of a question to answer. We have to say that it's two Tanoim that are mechulek what Rabbi Nechemia said. What do I do with the Eis Kol HaKelim Ha'ele? Shahayu Kelim Shel Zav. That the tools were made out of Zav. As the Gemara, Zav Behedik Sibay. I don't need Eis Kol HaKelim Ha'ele when it's mefurish in the Torah of Asisis Nereser Shiva. Zav Tar. It says mefurish in the Torah. Should be out of gold. It's talking about this part of the menorah all the way up here, maybe this part right over here, this little part. I think shouldn't be out of gold. There's no point for it to be out of gold when every night you're burning it, it becomes black. So become black, and make it out of whatever. Why does it have to be from this kikar, from the purest of the pure? Kamash Malon, that even the entire menorah is made out of pure gold, the kikar. What'd you say?